Well, this is something which I wanted to share with you, that if there could be one hobby which should surely take it in 2026, then it has to be this. Out of everything which I've learned over the time, there has been things which has helped me, and there have been things which have been not that helpful. But something which has stayed with me, and something which I truly wanted to present and truly wanted to give away, that would surely be this. One is the habit of reading. One of the reason why I feel we should definitely be reading is because we actually live in a society where we feel a lot, where we have a lot of feelings, where we have a lot of love. But you must have come across people who say that I feel but I am not able to express it. And I think that happens when you've not read good enough. When you don't read, that is when you don't develop that habit of telling out, articulating your feelings, what your heart truly feels. And that is why I feel that we live in a society where everyone is feeling a lot but they cannot express. Second one that I feel is where we live in an era of artificial intelligence, AI coming in all time high. That is somewhere we have stories which are so raw, and that actually keeps your imagination take its birth and germinate. Imagine for a moment, if I tell you that, imagine there is a forest, and there are some animals over there, and there are some trees over there. If I show you in a movie or a Netflix, then you are basically surrounded by a set boundary. That is what it is. Now your imagination is not really working or not really doing anything. But if on the other hand I tell you that, imagine if there are trees and there are some animals, and that is something which I have written in a book, and you are reading it. So now you'll actually run according to your own imagination. You will develop the trees according to your taste. You'll develop the animals according to the animal that you certainly like. One more thing that I felt over the time is that whenever the day would be pretty much long for me, I would end up having a few minutes to read a few pages, and maybe just 2 pages. When a chaotic day comes to an end, I would certainly spend a moment of, let's say, 2 minutes to read that certain book, and that would help me to have a calmness in my own mind. Something which I have felt over the time is that it also helps you to have better first impressions. When you read good amount of genres, when you read good stories, when you know how storytelling can be done, that is when you basically reflect a common hobby with lot many people in a professional aspect as well. You'll have people, maybe you won't have much of personal stuff to talk, but if you have books that somewhere connect you, you'll have a sudden sense of connected with those people, and that has somewhere helped me to make a better first impression. Also, there you develop a certain sense of more passion. It makes you more passionate to understand different genres. For example, let's say you are a person who loves let's say you love stories, right? But then you don't like self-help. But if you are a good reader, you will experiment different kind of genres, and experiment different kind of genres will make you a better uh, flexible with understanding different people's point of view, because now you are not just reading psychology or self-help or, let's say, thriller. You're also reading stuff like science fiction. You're also reading stuff like spirituality. These are like different colors in a box of crayon. The more colors that you have, the more flexible you will be as a person to understand a different person's point of view, and it makes you basically flexible. And at the end, if I could give you some hack to reading, then I would suggest you pick a genre that specifically has a great impact on you and you feel very motivated reading it. Imagine for a moment, I'm somebody, to me, I really love to know about mountains, right? Then I would surely pick up a book which basically talks about, let's say, Edmund Hillary, or the some stories on Mount Everest, something like that. These kind of things, they then you don't feel difficult going from one page to the second to the third to the fourth, because that story somewhere develops that passion in you to know about it, because you're truly passionate about knowing that what is about the story. And that is where you develop. You can start, basically you can start from the door where you have an interest in, and then later on many more doors can open for you where you can start different genres and play around there. So yeah, that is why I feel that 2026 has to be a year where you should surely spend a good time reading, if you want to have a voice, if you want to know that what your heart wants to say. the more you'll read, the better you'll be able to tell your stories.